in a world of shadows and whispers. A game is constantly played, a game of influence, of strategy, of power. You are on the board, but are you a player or merely a pawn, moved by unseen hands, manipulated by hidden designs? It's a question that haunts the astute and blinds the unwary. Today, we pull back the curtain. We explore the timeless wisdom of a master strategist, Niccolò Machiavelli, not to become manipulators ourselves, but to understand their craft, to see the board clearly, to recognize the moves before they're made. This is about self-preservation. This is about reclaiming your agency. This is about learning the art of not being manipulated. We're often taught to see the best in people, to assume good intentions, to believe in inherent fairness. These are noble sentiments, but in the arena of power, idealism unchecked can be a profound weakness. It can leave you vulnerable, exposed, like a delicate flower in a storm, or a fortress with its gates left open. Machiavelli understood this uncomfortable truth. He observed that the world is not always as it should be, but as it is. And in this world, motives are complex. Often they are self-serving. People will act in their own interests. This isn't necessarily evil. It is, as Machiavelli saw it, human nature. To ignore this reality is to navigate blindfolded. It's to invite exploitation. Think of times you felt used, or when your trust was betrayed. Was it because you assumed the best? Did you project your own ethics onto others? Naivety about human nature is a common vulnerability. It's the crack in the armor, the unguarded flank. Those who seek power or to preserve it often understand these dynamics intuitively. They might not be Machiavellian in a sinister sense, but they operate with a certain realism. They understand that appearances can be deceiving, that words can mask intent, and that vulnerability will be exploited. This isn't a call to cynicism, it's a call to clarity. Machiavelli's principles are not a guidebook for ruthlessness, not for us at least. Instead, they are a lens, a diagnostic tool, to understand and counter the ruthlessness of others, to see the world with eyes wide open. Many are repulsed by Machiavelli's candor. They label his insights as dark or immoral. But is it immoral to understand how a predator hunts, especially if you are the potential prey? Ignoring the darker aspects of human behavior doesn't make them disappear. It simply leaves you unprepared. The idealist sees a handshake as a bond. The realist, informed by Machiavelli, asks, what does each party gain? What are the unspoken terms? What are the consequences of breaking this bond for them? This pragmatic view is not about distrusting everyone. It's about exercising prudence. It's about recognizing that not everyone plays by your rules. Believing that goodwill alone will protect you is like hoping a wolf will spare you because you are a vegetarian. The world of power has its own ecology, and understanding its laws is crucial for survival, and not just survival, but for thriving. Machiavelli gives us the field guide. He maps the treacherous terrain so we can navigate it safely, so we can protect our interests, our well-being, and retain our autonomy. To truly shield ourselves from manipulation, we must delve deeper into the why. Why do people manipulate, and why are we so often susceptible? Machiavelli held up a mirror to human nature, not an idealized portrait, but a stark, realistic one. He argued that men are, by nature, ungrateful, fickle, simulators and dissimulators, cowardly and greedy. Harsh words, perhaps. But consider them not as absolute truths for all people, all the time, but as potential tendencies, especially when self-interest or fear are at play. The drive for security, for status, for resources. These are powerful motivators, and when direct, honest means seem insufficient, or too slow, or too risky, manipulation becomes an attractive tool. It's often a shortcut to achieving desires. Think of the flatterer. What motivates them? Often, a desire for favor, for advancement. They offer praise not from genuine admiration, but as an investment. Machiavelli warned princes to be wary of flatterers, for they cloud judgment and obscure truth. Another root of manipulation is fear. Fear of loss, fear of irrelevance, fear of exposure. Someone fearing their incompetence will be discovered might manipulate others into taking the blame, or they might spread disinformation to deflect attention. Machiavelli noted that it is safer to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. This speaks to the power of fear as a control mechanism. Those who manipulate often understand this implicitly. Now, why do we fall for it? One key reason is our own desires and insecurities. We want to believe the flatterer. Their words soothe our egos. We want to trust the person who seems so confident. It alleviates our own uncertainty. Manipulators are adept at sensing these vulnerabilities. They mirror our hopes back to us, or they exploit our fears. Another misconception is that manipulators are always obvious villains, the cackling schemer in a dark cloak. In reality, they are often charming, persuasive. They can be colleagues, friends, even family. They wear masks of congeniality. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of appearing virtuous, even if one isn't always acting virtuously in private. "But men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand," he wrote. "For everyone can see, but few can feel. And this means appearances are paramount. The manipulator crafts a convincing facade. We also fall prey due to cognitive biases. Confirmation bias. We seek information that confirms our beliefs. If a manipulator tells us what we want to hear, we're less likely to scrutinize it. The halo effect. If someone is attractive or charismatic, we assume they are also intelligent and trustworthy. Machiavelli's world was one of complex court politics, where reading subtle cues, understanding hidden agendas, was essential for survival. He saw that people are rarely straightforward. Their words and actions often conceal deeper motives. We might believe people are driven by grand ideals. Machiavelli would suggest looking for self-interest first, not to dismiss idealism entirely, but to use self-interest as a primary analytical lens. Is this person acting out of genuine altruism? Is there a benefit, hidden or overt, they stand to gain? Understanding these psychological underpinnings, the motivations of the manipulator, and our own susceptibilities is the first step to building an effective defense. It's about knowing the enemy and knowing ourselves. Beyond these internal scripts lies another powerful shaper of our lives, the environments we inhabit. And central to this is a concept many of us know, the comfort zone. But is it truly about comfort? Or is it, as thinker Peter Sage suggests, more accurately a familiarity trap? We seek not what is truly comfortable, but what is known, what is predictable, even if that familiarity breeds discontent. This trap feels safe, a haven. Yet, it often becomes a gilded cage. It promises security but delivers stagnation. Growth, by its very nature, exists outside these familiar walls. Think of a plant in a small pot. It may survive, feel safe, but it will never reach its full stature. Our environment plays a crucial role in constructing and reinforcing this zone. Consider your physical surroundings. Do they inspire expansion or contraction? Think of the information you consume daily. Is it food for growth or merely mental static? The news, social media feeds, casual conversations, these inputs subtly sculpt our worldview, our expectations, our desires. Our social environment, too, the people we spend time with, profoundly influence our standards. Peter Sage highlights that we become the average of the 5 people we associate with most. Are they lifting you higher or anchoring you to the familiar? This environmental shaping of our will is often insidious, almost invisible. We believe our choices are entirely our own, yet they are heavily conditioned. The standards we hold for ourselves, what we deem acceptable in our lives, are frequently not conscious decisions. They are mirrors reflecting our surroundings. If your environment normalizes mediocrity, then mediocrity becomes your unconscious standard. This is where ancient wisdom, like that of the Stoics, offers a powerful antidote. The Stoics understood that true well-being, eudaimonia, isn't found in avoiding discomfort. It's found in facing it purposefully. They advocated for voluntary hardship, for stepping into the arena of challenge, not for masochism but for resilience, to expand the boundaries of what feels safe, Comfort, in the Stoic view, when pursued as the primary goal, can make us fragile, ill-prepared for life's inevitable storms. Growth demands we stretch beyond our current limits. It requires friction, a degree of stress. Like a muscle, our capacity grows only when tested. The familiarity trap offers an illusion of control, but it's control within an ever-shrinking territory. True strength is cultivated by navigating uncertainty, by choosing the path of growth even when it feels daunting. Recognizing this trap and the environmental forces that keep us there is the first crucial step. It's about understanding how our will can be passively shaped and how we might begin to actively reclaim it. So, how do we begin to dismantle this carefully constructed cage of familiarity? How do we start to cultivate an environment that fosters growth, not stagnation? Peter Sage offers a profoundly simple yet powerful starting point, the stop-start principle. It's about taking conscious control of the inputs that shape our inner world. First, we must stop the negative. This requires honest self-assessment. What information are you consuming that drains your energy, fosters fear, or reinforces limiting beliefs? This could be relentless doom scrolling, sensationalist news cycles, or media designed to provoke outrage. It could be the critical voices in your social circle, those who subtly, or not so subtly, pull you down to their level of cynicism. And perhaps most importantly, it's about stopping the negative self-talk, that inner critic that echoes past failures and doubts future possibilities. Stopping these inputs takes courage. It might mean unfollowing, unsubscribing, or creating distance in certain relationships. This isn't about creating an echo chamber or burying your head in the sand. It's about strategic curation. It's about protecting your mental and emotional bandwidth for what truly matters, your growth. Think of it as weeding a garden. You must remove the weeds before the desired plants can flourish. Then concurrently, we must start positive inputs. This is the proactive part of the equation. Consciously choose to feed your mind with information that empowers and inspires. Seek out books, podcasts, documentaries, and teachings that expand your understanding and offer constructive perspectives. This is where the wisdom of thinkers like the Stoics or contemporary guides like Peter Sage can become invaluable resources. Start cultivating supportive relationships. Engage with communities, mentors, or peers who are also on a path of growth, who challenge you positively and celebrate your progress. And critically, start constructive self-dialogue. Replace the inner critic with an inner coach. Practice affirmations not as wishful thinking but as declarations of your intended direction. This stop-start process is essentially an act of environmental redesign. You are becoming the architect of your own experiential world. It's about taking radical responsibility for what you allow into your consciousness. This initial step is fundamental. It's like clearing the fog before you can see the path. It doesn't solve everything overnight, but it creates the necessary foundation for the deeper work of transformation to begin. By managing your inputs, you begin to reclaim your focus, your energy, and your inner narrative. This is the first conscious act of breaking free. It's a declaration that your inner peace and your growth are non-negotiable. So this idea of flourishing, it's more than just feeling not bad. Martin Seligman offers a framework, a multifaceted model for genuine well-being. He calls it PERMA, P-E-R-M-A, 5 core elements contributing to flourishing. Let's break them down. First, P, positive emotion. This isn't just fleeting pleasure. It includes joy, gratitude, serenity, hope, pride, inspiration, feelings that broaden our perspective. But it's not about being happy all the time. That's unrealistic, even undesirable. Next, E, engagement. Think of being in the zone. That state of flow Csikszentmihalyi described. Losing yourself in an activity. Time seems to disappear. It requires using your strengths. Deeply satisfying, intrinsically rewarding. Then R, relationships. Humans are fundamentally social creatures. Positive connections are vital. Love, intimacy, social bonds. Feeling supported, valued, cared for, and offering that support to others. Few things impact well-being more. Fourth is M, meaning belonging to and serving something you believe is bigger than the self. Purpose, a sense of direction. It could be family, community, spirituality, a cause, a creative pursuit. Knowing your life matters in a larger context. Finally, A, accomplishment, also called achievement or mastery. Setting and pursuing goals, developing skills, competence, the feeling of I did it. This isn't just about winning. It's about progress, striving, accomplishment for its own sake. So PERMA, positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning and accomplishment. These aren't separate silos. They weave together, reinforcing each other. Achieving a difficult goal, A, often brings positive emotion, P. Meaningful work, M, fosters engagement, E. Strong relationships, R, support all others. This gives us a richer vocabulary for well-being, a map to navigate towards a flourishing life. But how do we cultivate these elements, especially meaning and accomplishment? They often require confronting difficulty, which brings us to another perspective. Jordan Peterson, a clinical psychologist, offers a compelling, perhaps sterner view. He argues that meaning isn't found in happiness, but in the adoption of responsibility. Life, he emphasizes, involves suffering. It's inherent in the structure of existence. Avoiding this truth leads to bitterness, resentment, and ultimately nihilism. The antidote? Voluntarily confront chaos. Take up your burden, your cross. What does this mean practically? It means shouldering responsibility. For yourself first, your potential. Tell the truth. Aim high. Confront what you avoid. Then extend that responsibility outward, to your family, your work, your community. This is where deep meaning, M, is forged, not passively found but actively created, through the voluntary bearing of difficulty. And look how this connects back to PERMA. Taking responsibility directly fuels meaning, M. Successfully shouldering burdens leads to accomplishment, A. The challenging tasks demand full engagement, E. Meaningful accomplishment yields deep positive emotion, P. Not fleeting pleasure, but earned satisfaction. And shared responsibility strengthens relationships, R. Building trust and mutual reliance. So the practical application starts small. Peterson famously says, clean your room. It's a metaphor. Start with what you can control. Bring order to your immediate environment. Face the small dragons first. Identify one thing you know you should do but are avoiding, and do it voluntarily. This builds competence, confidence. It makes you capable of tackling larger problems. This path isn't easy. It requires embracing difficulty, not avoiding it. But according to this view, it's the only path to genuine meaning, and therefore to authentic, resilient well-being. We've journeyed through the noise, the clamor of the external world, and the persistent echoes within. We've explored how our minds are shaped, and how they can indeed be reshaped. We've seen well-being, Seligman's PERMA, blossom through positive emotion, engagement, rich relationships, profound meaning, and genuine accomplishment. And how meaning, as Frankl illuminated, is not passively found, but actively forged. Forged in responsibility, as Peterson highlights, in the voluntary shouldering of our chosen burdens. This grounds us, anchoring Little's core projects. So, what is the destination of this path? What is this quiet mind we truly seek? It's not an empty mind devoid of thought or feeling. That's a misconception, a sterile silence. The true quiet mind is vibrant. It's a state of inner coherence, a harmonized inner landscape. Imagine a still, deep lake. Its surface reflects the sky, calm, clear, undisturbed by trivial winds. But beneath it teems with life, with depth, with hidden currents of purpose. This is the mind that has integrated its parts, acknowledged its shadows, a nod to Jung, and aligned actions with deepest values. It's a mind experiencing Seligman's flourishing, not as fleeting highs, but a steady state. Positive emotions arise with natural grace. Engagement in life is deep and absorbing. Relationships are authentic, built on inner solidity. Meaning isn't a puzzle, but a lived reality, found in responses. Our commitments, Frankl, Accomplishments are milestones on a path of purpose, driven by Little's well-chosen personal projects. This quiet mind is profoundly resilient. It meets challenges not with frantic reactivity, but with a centered, wise responsiveness. It has learned to navigate the noise, to filter, discern, and choose its focus. It's capable of profound engagement with life, precisely because it's not easily overwhelmed. It finds stillness not by escaping the world, but by mastering its inner world. This isn't about passivity, it's about potent, purposeful presence, a quiet strength, a clear vision, an internal sanctuary built with care, brick by brick, through awareness and action. This is the potential within each of us, a mind at peace yet fully alive, a mind that is truly deeply our own. So we've seen that the path to a quiet mind, to inner stillness, is not a mystical gift for a select few. It's a profound capacity within us all. It's a journey from the cacophony of a life lived often on autopilot to a space of conscious, clear presence. We've explored the roots of our inner noise, the psychological patterns that can bind us, and we've uncovered powerful tools, awareness of our inner narratives, the courage to embrace responsibility, Peterson, the search for meaning, Frankl, the cultivation of flourishing, Seligman, and dedication to core projects, Little. This journey synthesizes ancient wisdom with modern psychological understanding. This quiet mind is not found by chance. It's not a destination you stumble upon. It is cultivated meticulously, patiently, like a garden. It requires tending, weeding out distractions, nurturing seeds of presence and purpose. It's an art and a science of inner work. So, where do you begin or continue this cultivation? The first step, always, is awareness. Truly listen to your inner dialogue. What stories are you telling yourself? Then, embrace the challenge of choice. Choose your responses, don't just react. Choose your commitments. Ask yourself, as Frankl might, what is life asking of me right now? And as Peterson suggests, what responsibility can I take to make my world or someone else's just a little bit better? Identify your core projects, as Little advises. What truly, deeply matters to you? Align your daily actions with these deep values. This isn't about grand, heroic gestures always. Often, it's in the small, consistent efforts. The quiet dedication to what is meaningful. Build practices that foster stillness, perhaps meditation, mindful moments, journaling, or dedicated time in nature. Find what truly resonates with your soul. This is an ongoing practice, a way of life. There will be days of clarity and days the noise inevitably creeps back in. Meet both with gentle persistence. The journey itself holds immense reward. The peace you seek is not in a distant future or an external circumstance. It resides within your own capacity to cultivate that inner stillness. It's the strength found in quietude, the clarity born from self-understanding. It's the profound connection to life that emerges when inner chatter subsides. This path to a quiet mind is a path to a more authentic, more meaningful, and more joyful existence. The world outside may remain noisy, but your inner sanctuary can be steadfast. Begin today. Cultivate your quiet. Discover the peace and power within. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If these ideas resonate with you, if you're seeking to deepen your understanding of your mind and how to live more fully, consider subscribing to our channel. We explore these paths together. May your journey inward be fruitful,